someone is lying to you about self-love rituals. Self-love is a term that feels like it's around a lot, right? Which is, you'd think, a really good thing because self-love is a beautiful feeling to embody. And yet it sounds to me like it is also used as a marketing term to sell us some products. So today I want to talk about the difference between real self-love rituals and things you can actually do to promote that real feeling of self-love versus bogus self-love that is packaged to us and makes us kind of pay the price. So stay tuned. As you know, I talk a lot about how to get clear skin, but one of the most important factors I find that really boost healing is self-love. Self-loathing and stressful and negative thinking actually slows down healing physiologically, like on a biological level. So thinking positively, especially about yourself, is extremely, extremely important. Self-love really means from moment to moment choosing to love myself, accept myself, forgive myself, but also choosing to love the actual moment, accept the moment, forgive the moment if necessary, right? It's practicing non-resistance towards the present moment and practicing non-resistant thoughts about myself as well. By non-resistant thoughts, I mean negative thoughts like, ooh, I look terrible today. Oh, my skin sucks, or, I'm not that smart, etc., etc., etc. There are zero self-loathing thoughts in this head nowadays, and that took practice. This video is actually inspired by an Instagram post I saw today. One of my clients actually tagged me underneath the post, and it was an influencer who's like really big in the self-love space, right? Who is all about loving your body any way, shape, or form. And the messaging I've always thought was very positive. I knew this influencer from a distance. I'm not super following this person. And this person was talking about self-love on Instagram while putting on a mask, a pretty irritating face mask, and saying that, this is my me time, I'm touching myself, ooh, touch, ooh, self-love. It was so compelling and so well done that I'm like, wait, masks maybe are self-love? This kind of messaging is affecting probably millions of people. Many people are convinced that when they apply a face mask, they're actually doing something beneficial for themselves. I totally agree that we should be taking care of ourselves, but to lump masks into the category of self-love or self-love ritual, to me is a little ridiculous, because this kind of messaging makes it sound like you can buy self-love, like you can create the experience of self-love by having a certain thing. Go out, buy a mask, put on a mask, have your me time, and that defines self-love. To me, this has become a really ridiculous concept given what I know about face masks and their actual effect on the skin. There's either no effect or damage. Zero of my clients who have those amazing transformations that you see all over Instagram, by the way, you should follow me on Instagram, 0 of my clients use face masks because it's just simply unnecessary. You really couldn't do anything more useless for yourself than a face mask. You might as well sit down and eat a sandwich. I'm not criticizing anybody who uses face masks. What I am criticizing is the whole self-care, self-love connection to face masks. It's a really beautiful way to sell a product when you tell people hey, pamper yourself, feel good, take a moment for you. As somebody who deeply cares about my skin and your skin and wants you to be able to manifest clear skin without, diets, pills, and other dumb shit, I have to mention face masks as some of this dumb shit that is being peddled to the masses, right? A totally useless product has been put in the same sentence as self-love. And to me, this is a very bogus and very misleading concept because it makes it sound as though self-love is something that you buy. And like happiness, self-love is not an experience. It's a decision. And I want to talk a little bit about that now, because I think once you understand a little better what self-love really means, then you'll be less likely to be buying it, or attempting to, at least. So self-love is the practice of choosing positive thoughts about yourself and the present moment from moment to moment, meaning every single moment is a new moment, right? So every single moment you have that new opportunity to choose loving thoughts over fearful thoughts, especially towards yourself. You're not judging yourself, you're not feeling, negative emotions and telling yourself stories about how you failed or how not good enough you are and blah, blah, blah. Instead, you're focusing on the positive aspects of you, and that can even feel like work in the beginning when you're so conditioned to think that there's something wrong with you, which, by the way, marketing companies are also very good at showing us what might be wrong with us, right? If you truly want to have an amazing relationship with yourself, it's something that needs to be practiced all the time. While you're on the toilet, self-love ritual. I'm on the toilet, I'm having a good time, yeah. In the shower, self-love ritual. Reading a book on the couch, self-love ritual. Oh, I love this book. Oh, this book feels so good in my brain. Anything can actually be a self-love ritual. I want to give you a few examples of how you can actually practice self-love. And the first thing that we can do always is mirror work. It's one of the most powerful practices ever, coined by Louise Hay. One amazing exercise that really helped me in the beginning, I'm making eye contact to myself every single time I saw myself in the mirror and literally saying, I love you. I really love you. In the beginning, it was kind of awkward and kind of weird, and I was like, ooh, but then it got easier and easier and easier, and then I began to believe myself. I actually did this for a long time, and it changed my relationship with myself, because in the past, I used to entertain more negative thoughts about myself. There were more doubts and fears in my mind, about the present moment, and there was more uncertainty and insecurity, etc. And with this very easy self-love ritual, you can call it, I began to really, really love, appreciate, accept myself, forgive myself, support myself, be really, really kind to myself, have compassion for myself, And so I started treating myself totally differently. I stopped being as restrictive with food. I started enjoying my life more. I started following my passion without the same fears that held me back, the same unworthiness, because those thoughts were not self-loving thoughts. So when I started choosing self-loving thoughts from moment to moment and shifting my focus to positive aspects of myself rather than negative ones, I was doing it. I was embodying self-love. Nowadays, I can't even remember the last negative thought that I had about myself. It just doesn't happen anymore. So you can actually get to a place where you no longer doubt yourself, practice self-deprecating thoughts and all this stuff just by practicing this whole concept of self-love, the real thing, not face masks. Now, the next self-love ritual you can have is meditation. Sometimes that outside noise around us is incredibly distracting and can actually dull our own voice and our own connection to our guidance and wisdom. We all have it. So when we feel doubtful or fearful or worried, one of the best things that we can do is actually, instead of going out and getting a face mask, is to actually go in. Sit still with yourself in a quiet place and focus on your breath. I found that my sweet spot is 15 minutes because in the first 5, I'm still kind of restless and resisting the actual process. In the next 5, I'm pretty peaceful. And then the last 5, usually something amazing comes to me, like up here or in here. And it's always so good and feels so nice. Another self-loving ritual that you can try is journaling. Journaling is so amazing, especially if you're gonna journal on the positive aspects of you. So if you're having trouble focusing on what's amazing about you, because spoiler alert, it's everything, then I recommend you actually get yourself a journal and start a book of positive aspects. This is straight out of Law of Attraction. And all you have to write about is how amazing you are. So you focus on everything that you love about yourself and you just write it out. Ooh, I love my shiny hair. I love my eyes. I love my sense of humor, my smile, how I treat people, how much I know about this subject. That's skincare. I promise you there are many, many things that you can write in this journal. And after some time, you will actually find it easier and easier to find those amazing things within yourself because they've always been there. But focusing on them actually makes them a little bigger, right, in your awareness. And therefore, you will feel like you can embody these aspects of yourself, these amazingly positive aspects of yourself, more easily in your day-to-day life. So this is a really powerful way to create more of that in your experience. Other beneficial acts of self-love could also be walking in nature, sitting in nature, even admiring a tree can literally be an act of self-love. It really doesn't require so much actual effort or doing. And I know on Instagram, it's like people are doing face masks, they're, eating all kinds of green foods and celery juice, etc. And they make a self-love ritual or a self-loving lifestyle look extremely complicated, as though it requires all this effort, when really that main effort is up here, like I said, choosing from moment to moment to think about yourself in a very positive and loving and accepting way. So I really wanted to point out the difference between true self-love and the bogus stuff that is shown on Instagram, etc., because it's really not how it looks in a picture, it's how you feel inside. And again, self-love is not an experience, it's a way of being. It's just a way to be kind to yourself and to listen to yourself and to choose to support yourself in every situation. So please don't fall for face masks and self-love rituals as such, because truly you can feel and embody self-love in every moment. This was Olena of OlenaBelay.com. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it, if you agree, if you disagree, why, and give me a thumbs up as well, because it helps YouTube know that this video is effing awesome. So I'll see you in the next one.